What is going on, New York Giants fans? Hit Squad back at it again. Sub up to the channel, man. Sub up to the channel. Become a member of the Hit Squad family. Become a Hit Squad soldier. Hit that subscribe button, man. Like it. Follow us on Twitter. The link will be in the description. What an emotional game, man. I mean, first of all, I just want to put this out there. Let's do a little update on the Giants' injuries. So, obviously, Andrew Thomas didn't play today. He was in there for emergency purposes, which we'll get into that a little bit later. Saquon Barkley was out with an ankle injury that he had. It pretty much is, a freak accident. But prayers up to Saquon, man. Daniel Jones, who it's looking like a concussion, man. I mean, he took a nasty hit to the head. We have Kenny Golladay, who was out with the knee. Rodarius Williams, who was also out with the knee. Now, 70% of our starting offense is out. Out with injuries. Just alone, we have Shane Lemieux, Nick Gates, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. Outside of the names I already mentioned, we have our whole starting team, at least on the offensive side of the ball, primarily, that's injured. And granted, I think we can all agree as Giants fans, the only positive that came out today was Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney is a monster. A monster. And because of how the Giants lost, because of the injuries that we have, which we can't really control those kind of injuries. Daniel Jones is a little bit different. We're also going to talk about that too. But, that's going to be the last thing we speak about, is how well of a game Kadarius Toney played. He had 10 receptions for 189 yards. He was a stud out there. And I think, and I could be wrong, let me know below if I'm wrong, but I believe for the Giants currently, that holds the record. That he actually broke a record. I could be wrong. Or at least if he didn't break it, he's very, very close because he had a very good game. Now look, the Giants, they held this tight. They held it tight at first. And honestly, you saw the life of the team go not only... I'm not even going to say when Daniel Jones went out. I'm going to say when Saquon Barkley went out with that ankle injury. Because that changed, in my honest opinion, the whole game plan of the game. I thought that, we were going to get things going, get things cooking. But obviously, things didn't work out. And my heart's with Saquon because he can't catch a break. Now, we don't know what exactly is wrong with Saquon's ankle. It looked very swollen. We all saw that picture on the screen, man. It looked very swollen instantly. So, I'm hoping it's nothing too serious, man. Look, man. Daniel Jones, it's so sad. It's so sad and unfortunate because I feel like even if, you're a rival fan or not, or just not a fan of the team, this kid was getting it figured out. He was putting this team on his back. And I honestly thought if he didn't have this injury, he was going to have a very good game. And it was looking like he was kind of putting things a little bit together on that drive. But, Daniel Jones, man, it looks like it's going to be a concussion. Hopefully he could come back, soon, not too soon. I'm not expecting him to play against the Rams, but right now I'm looking at, the safety of Daniel Jones and the health of Daniel Jones, and I think that's what's most important. Now, we don't know what exactly happened with Kenny Golladay. We didn't see anything happen on the field. It just kind of came up on announced, when he wasn't on the field that, he suffered a knee injury. And, Kadarius Toney did look a little shaken up. I know they taped up his ankle and his foot, but he still balled out today. Now, this defense, this is what I'm going to say. I understand they don't have an edge rush, but to allow 200 yards on the ground is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and someone genuinely needs to ask Dave Gettleman. You pride yourself on stuffing the run, having the big guys in the trenches. Yet they just gave up 200 yards and 300 in the air. You know, I questioned why there were certain times that Rodarius Williams is covering Amari Cooper. Why? Rodarius Williams has no business covering Amari Cooper. I wouldn't even trust Rodarius Williams on CeeDee Lamb. So that was very questionable to me. I mean, the lack of a pass rush, for better words. I mean, we were getting there. We weren't finishing. And that really killed us because Dak was able to evade the pocket sometimes. He was able to, get the ball out quick because the pocket was collapsing. Granted, there were times we were able to hit home. Austin Johnson had a nice one. But, if it's not one thing, it's another with this team, man. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. James Bradberry, I hate to say it. After having a fantastic year last year, I think it's very clear he is not having a good year right now. He is not having a good year. He gave up that 40-yard touchdown to CeeDee Lamb, which opened up the game pretty much. That's unacceptable, man. But honestly, at the same time, you could also blame Julian Love because that was his fault. He was supposed to have that side of the field, and he let it up. And but at the same time, I personally would prefer Bradberry to shadow Amari Cooper and have Adoree on CeeDee Lamb just because Adoree has more pickup speed and, comeback speed as opposed to James Bradberry. James Bradberry is more physical. And yeah, you should be physical with CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb is also a little bit of a burner. He's pretty sneaky. He's a little bit of a burner. So that's frustrating in itself. He drops a perfectly put in chest of an interception, man. That ball couldn't hit him more in his chest. And that's been the theme of the team, right? You go back to, Atlanta, Adoree Jackson should have caught that. You go back to, there's plays in Denver. It's just, we shoot ourselves in the foot. And for us to go down this way, man, granted, the injuries, we became very one-dimensional when Saquon Barkley, was declared out. But, look, I got to give credit where credit's due. Mike Glennon, he looked okay. he looked as a backup would. I've definitely seen worse backups play. But I also want to say this much. I don't try to say, oh, it's the refs. But I think we could all agree there was a lot of plays out there that should have been called. That Trayvon Diggs play, which, first of all, before I get into that, why is CJ Board even on the field running? I don't believe it was a post. But if you're going to do that kind of a route, have a burner like John Ross do it. Or Kadarius Toney maybe do it. You know what I mean? CJ Board. But at the same time, if you saw that play, Trayvon Diggs, man, congratulations. He got his 6th interception. Dallas definitely got a star right there. But, Jesus Christ, man. Don't even get me started with that hold against Kadarius Toney in the red zone, man. Jesus Christ. It's like when it's not, if it's blatant, they don't call it. I'm calling a spade, man. The officiating in this game was horrible. And having to hear Troy Aikman and Joe Buck's old ass talk, man, it just made the game more unbearable to watch, man. Prayers up to, the players that we lost today. Obviously, Dallas was the better team, but, we had opportunities, man. We had opportunities, and unfortunately, we didn't execute it. With Daniel Jones being injured, why is he running an RPO to the outside, Jason Garrett? Why do you have him running to the outside? Granted, you can make the argument that Kyle Rudolph should have bailed out to the left. You can make that argument. But at least try running it up the gut. If you're going to do an RPO, give the man a fighting chance. Give the man a chance. I mean, we were able to stretch the field, man. And like I said, Kadarius Toney, he's a stud. He put his body out there for us, man. I mean, but he also made some costly decisions, especially that punch against, I believe it was number 18 against on the Cowboys, their safety. But you can't do that, and he's gonna learn. He's gonna learn, guys. He's just a rookie. But Kadarius Toney, for what it counts, he put this team on his back today. Man, it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating, and I understand, the frustration Giants fans feel. I think it's very warranted. I got to be honest with you guys. But, now we got the Rams coming up, and that should be fun. Oh, my God. Lord help us. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. Hit the sub button. Follow us on Twitter. Let us know your thoughts below. How did you guys feel about this game? What did you think about Kadarius Toney's game today? What are your thoughts going into LA next week? It's going to be a home game, but LA coming into MetLife. Let us know your thoughts below. We'll see you guys in the next video.